people who are highly sensitive tend to be more influential and persuasive because they're understanding what motivates other people. They've been paying attention to what is important to Roger versus Kimberly versus Suzanne, and they can pivot their message based on that because they've been looking at those subtleties and those nuances. And so I think that's a misconception people have about sensitivity, is that it's all just emotions and feelings, which it is partly, but the most successful sensitive strivers who are leaders translate that into better business results, not just kind of navel gazing at, well, how does everybody feel about this? And is everybody happy? So I think we need to get away from that very limited understanding.
Ooh, this is getting exciting. All right, before before I ask you about what's the thing that we have to do to unlock that superpower, because it does seem like a power, for sensitive strivers to use. How might one, maybe through a series of questions of self-reflections, how might one say, "Ooh, I think I am in that camp. Like I feel like I'm a sensitive, quote unquote, sensitive striver." How do we do that?
Yeah. Well, in my first book, Trust Yourself, there's a acronym I use to break this down, and very conveniently, it's called STRIVE. And these are the 6 factors to look for that really summarize what it means to be a sensitive striver. So the first one is sensory sensitivity. And you may think, duh, of course, if I know I'm sensitive. But what we're talking about here is having a faster and deeper nervous system response to what's happening around you. And so you may find that you get more easily excited than other people. Also, on the flip side, maybe more easily stressed or burned out by situations than other people. But your body responds faster. So it's almost like if you imagine your nervous system as a bucket, our bucket fills faster and maybe more shallow than other people.
Mm.
So that's the first thing, is sensory sensitivity. Second is thoughtfulness, which is what I was mentioning before. That ability to think deeply. You're probably very reflective. You're intuitive. You may want to process things before you speak about them. That's a hallmark of high sensitivity, because it was very useful back in prehistoric days to have certain people in the tribe who were more cautious, who slowed down before just running out into the wild. And so that's why high sensitivity has persisted. But today in our decision making, it may look like very thoughtfully you need to consider a lot of variables before you make a choice. Again, you can imagine how this can make you more strategic, you're more mindful, you're more deliberate about how you move through your work. Again, if it goes overboard or it's unchecked, you're overthinking. You're doubting yourself. You're just riddled by insecurity. All right, so sensitivity, thoughtfulness, then we have responsibility. This is the hallmark of the striver side. And sensitive strivers, they will give their 100% to everything that they do. And they often have high integrity to others, but lower self-integrity. They are dependable and reliable, often to a fault. They're the ones who will, volunteer, take on everything. They very highly value morals and justice. They want to do things right, but they often let their commitments to themselves fall by the wayside because they're taking care of and paying attention to everybody else. Then we have inner drive. That is that motivation to be not necessarily the best, but to always be growing and always be learning, always be advancing yourself. A lot of people that I work with, they don't want to climb the ladder. They don't want to be in the corner office, but they always want to be better than they were yesterday. And that, again, is a tremendous character asset to have. They're seekers often, but they can take on a lot of goals. I call this goal collecting, which is, I want to learn a language and this AI platform and this and
Oh
that.
boy, that sounds very
Oh,
familiar.
yes. Yes. Right. And we can take on too much, and then we set ourselves up for failure because we're always moving the goalpost. We had one thing that qualified as success, but before we even reach it, we've already moved the bar. Then we have vigilance. And this is that trait of paying attention to what's happening around you. So being vigilant specifically of your environment and other people's behavior, being able to sense when the mood shifts in the room, or being thoughtful about how you're organizing your environment so that it works for you. But again, if we're not paying attention to that, we can get very preoccupied in what other people think about us, to the point where we're sacrificing or not speaking up about what we believe because we're just over optimizing for consensus or everyone else being happy. We're seeking harmony to the default of what needs to happen, and sometimes decisiveness. And then last is emotionality, right? Having bigger emotional responses, more complex or textured. It's not uncommon for clients to tell me, I feel happy and sad and jealous and excited, like all at once. So that multi-layered emotional reaction, as well as our emotions tend to be stronger and stick around longer than other people's. Um, Tremendous to be able to feel that deeply, but can also get in your way when you are not emotionally regulated, or you are so overwhelmed by all of the things you are feeling that it just feels like this cloud you can't see your way through.